Chosen one, listen carefully. Something long buried is moving again. A door you thought was sealed has begun to open. A name you pushed into silence has been stirred in the spirit. A person you once loved is being drawn back toward you, not by coincidence, not by nostalgia, but by truth. And this truth is not what you expect. You felt it before this message reached you, a sudden memory, a quiet ache, a familiar energy brushing against your thoughts without warning. You tried to ignore it. You told yourself it was nothing, but your spirit recognized the signal. Heaven is stirring something unfinished. This is not about reopening wounds. This is not about repeating the past. This is about revelation. God is allowing a return because there is something that must be revealed, something that was hidden, something that was misunderstood, something that could not surface before now. Child of God, this person did not leave your life without consequence. Their absence shaped you. Their silence transformed you. Their departure forced growth you never asked for. You survived the separation, but the story did not end where you thought it did. It paused, and now heaven is pressing play again. You may be wondering why now, why after healing, why after distance, why after acceptance? The answer is divine timing. There are truths that cannot be spoken until both hearts are ready to hear them. There are confessions that cannot be made until pride is stripped away. There are realizations that only come after loss has done its work. This return is not random, it is summoned. God is revealing that the person you loved has been carrying something heavy, a truth they could not articulate, a realization that came too late, a regret that grew louder in silence. They walked away with misunderstanding in their mouth and confusion in their heart, but time has confronted them. Isolation has spoken to them, and God has dealt with them. Chosen one, the truth they carry now was not accessible to them then. Their mind was clouded, their heart was defensive, their spirit was immature. They could not see clearly, but distance has a way of sharpening vision. Loss has a way of teaching honesty, and silence has a way of forcing the soul to listen. This is why the return feels different in the spirit. You do not sense chaos, you do not sense manipulation, you sense weight, you sense gravity, you sense seriousness. Something real is approaching. Do not rush to conclusions. This return is not automatically reconciliation. It is revelation. God is not restoring the past. He is revealing truth, and truth has the power to heal, release, or redirect. You loved this person deeply. That love was not foolish. It was sincere. It was pure. But love does not always protect us from misunderstanding. Sometimes love exists before maturity. Sometimes love is present before clarity. And sometimes love must be broken to be understood. The truth they are coming with is not what you imagined in your lonely nights. It is not a simple apology. It is not a casual explanation. It is something that reframes the entire story, something that shifts how you see yourself, something that removes blame you carried unnecessarily. Child of God, you blamed yourself for too long. You wondered what you did wrong. You replayed conversations. You analyzed moments. You questioned your worth. But the truth that is returning was never about your failure. It was about their fear, their immaturity, their inability to stand in the truth they felt. They ran because they were overwhelmed by what they felt with you. They withdrew because the connection exposed parts of them they were not ready to confront. They chose distance because intimacy demanded growth they were unwilling to embrace at the time. God allowed the separation to protect you. You were becoming smaller, trying to hold space for someone who could not meet you where you stood. Heaven intervened not to punish you, but to preserve you. Now the person returns, not to take from you, but to confess what they could not say before. They come carrying awareness. They come carrying humility. They come carrying a truth shaped by loss. Chosen one, you must understand this clearly. Their return does not mean you are meant to go back. It means you are meant to know the truth. Truth brings closure. Truth brings healing. Truth brings clarity. and clarity brings peace. There are moments when God allows people to return, not to resume a relationship, but to correct a narrative, to restore dignity, to free you from false conclusions, to show you that you are not the problem. This is one of those moments. You have changed since they left. You are stronger, you are more discerning, you are no longer desperate for validation, you are no longer waiting to be chosen, you chose yourself, and heaven honored that choice. The truth they carry now will meet a different version of you, a version that does not beg, a version that does not chase, a version that listens with wisdom, not emotion, a version that understands that love without truth is incomplete. God is preparing you for this encounter so that you are not shaken, so that you are not confused, so that you are not pulled backward by old feelings. This message is a warning and a preparation. The return will test your discernment, it will stir emotions, it will awaken memories, but it will also bring revelation that sets you free. Chosen one, you are not being called to reopen old wounds. You are being called to witness truth, to stand in clarity, to listen without losing yourself, to receive without surrendering your peace. This is not about reliving the past. It is about redeeming understanding. Heaven is involved in this moment. God is orchestrating the timing. Angels are guarding your heart. The truth coming toward you will not destroy you, it will strengthen you. Stay grounded, stay calm, stay discerning. The story is not repeating, it is completing. And this is only the beginning of what God is about to reveal. Chosen one, now heaven opens the next layer. What is happening is not driven by emotion alone. It is driven by revelation. God is showing you that the return of this person is tied to a spiritual reckoning, a moment where truth can no longer remain buried, a moment where silence must give way to honesty. This person has been in a quiet war, not with you, but within themselves. While you were healing, they were unraveling. While you were growing, they were confronting what they avoided. While you were learning to stand alone, they were realizing what they lost. God allowed time to work on both of you differently because the work required was not the same. They were not ready then, that is the truth. God reveals that when they left, they believed they were choosing peace, but distance did not bring peace. It brought exposure, it stripped away distractions, it forced them to sit with their thoughts, it forced them to face the questions they ran from, it forced them to acknowledge the weight of what they walked away from. This is why they are returning now. They are returning because God has been dealing with them, not gently, not quickly, but thoroughly. God has been dismantling their pride. God has been confronting their excuses. God has been revealing patterns they inherited and repeated. God has been showing them how fear disguised itself as logic in their decisions. They now see what they could not see before. Chosen one, the truth they are bringing is not surface level. It is not a convenient explanation. It is not a softened version of events. It is raw, it is heavy, it is sobering. It is the kind of truth that only emerges after loss has done its work. They are coming to tell you that they mishandled you, that they misunderstood you, that they projected their wounds onto you, that they confused love with pressure, that they ran from the very thing that was meant to heal them. This truth is not meant to reopen your heart, it is meant to clear your name. God is correcting the record. There were moments when you questioned your worth, moments when you wondered if you were too much, moments when you blamed yourself for their withdrawal, moments when you believed that if you had been different, they would have stayed. Heaven wants you to know this was never about your insufficiency, it was about their unreadiness. They loved you, but they did not know how to receive love that required growth. God is revealing something else. The delay was intentional. If they had returned earlier, the truth would not have been complete. They would have spoken from confusion, not clarity. They would have spoken from emotion, not understanding. But now, they speak from revelation. Revelation changes everything. This is why God waited until you were strong enough to hear the truth without breaking, until you were healed enough to listen without pleading, until you were whole enough to receive without losing yourself. You are no longer the person you were when they left, and that is intentional. The prophetic insight here is this: God is not restoring the relationship. God is restoring truth, and sometimes truth is the final gift before a door closes permanently. Sometimes truth is the blessing that allows you to move forward without questions haunting you. Do not assume the return means continuation. It means completion. There is also spiritual warfare attached to this moment. When truth is about to surface, resistance always follows. Doubt will whisper, old emotions will rise, memories will replay. The enemy will try to confuse you by blending nostalgia with longing, but discernment will keep you steady. Chosen one, do not take this resistance lightly. Whenever you are on the brink of a major revelation, the enemy will try to cloud your mind. You cannot fight this confusion with just your emotions. You need a strategy. This is exactly why I created the Chosen One's Spiritual Warfare Handbook. It is a 30-day guided system designed to lock in your peace and block out confusing spirits. It includes the specific decrees to break soul ties and the prayers to silence monitoring spirits that try to pull you back. Do not leave your spirit unguarded during this shift. You can download the handbook right now using the link in the pinned comment or description. Arm yourself before you move forward. Truth does not rush you. Truth does not pressure you. Truth does not manipulate you. Truth stands still and speaks plainly. God is showing you that this person is not returning with demands. They are returning with humility. They are not returning to claim. They are returning to confess. They are not returning to control. They are returning to release. They have realized something profound. Walking away did not make them stronger. It revealed their weakness. Losing you did not free them. It exposed their fear. Silence did not protect them. It confronted them. Now they understand what they had. Child of God, this moment is about justice, not punishment. Justice. God is ensuring that you do not carry false guilt into your next season. God is ensuring that you do not define yourself by someone else's inability to love correctly. This is divine correction. There is symbolism here. In Scripture, God often allowed people to return to correct a wrong before moving forward. Joseph's brothers returned to face the truth of what they did. Jacob returned to confront Esau with humility. The prodigal son returned with confession, not entitlement. Returns are biblical, but they are not always restorations. Sometimes they are revelations. God wants you to approach this moment with calm authority. Listen without absorbing. Hear without internalizing blame. Receive without reopening wounds. You are not being tested. You are being affirmed. This truth will free you in ways you did not know you needed. You will understand why certain things unfolded, why conversations felt incomplete, why closure never came, why your spirit never felt at rest about how it ended. Truth brings rest. This encounter will shift something inside you, not because you need them, but because you needed clarity. And clarity is coming. God is also warning you, do not romanticize the past, do not rewrite history. The truth they bring does not erase what happened, it explains it. Explanation does not equal permission. Understanding does not require return. You are allowed to receive truth and still choose forward. Chosen one, this is a sacred moment. Heaven has orchestrated it carefully. You are protected, you are guided, you are not alone. The truth they bring will not destabilize you, it will stabilize you. And there is more God wants to reveal. Chosen one, heaven now explains why this return is happening at this precise moment. Timing matters in the spiritual realm. God does nothing early. God does nothing late. Everything unfolds when hearts are prepared to receive truth without distortion. This return could not happen before now. If it had happened earlier, it would have destroyed you. You were too tender, too wounded, too willing to bend, too ready to take responsibility for pain that was never yours to carry. God delayed this moment because He was protecting your identity. You needed time to heal. You needed time to grow. You needed time to discover who you are without them. Only now are you strong enough to hear the truth without losing your footing. God is revealing that this return is part of divine timing, not emotional timing. Emotional timing would have reunited you out of longing. Divine timing reunites truth with clarity. One leads to confusion, the other leads to freedom. This person has reached a breaking point. Their internal justifications collapsed. The narratives they told themselves stopped working. The distractions failed. Silence became unbearable. God allowed their comfort to erode so that truth could rise. Conviction is uncomfortable. God confronted them in the quiet, when no one was watching, when no one was affirming them, when no one was excusing their behavior. That is where truth was born, not in conversation, not in nostalgia, but in solitude. They realized something painful. They did not lose you because you were flawed. They lost you because they were unprepared. This realization took time. Pride resisted it, fear avoided it, ego denied it, but eventually truth prevailed. This is why they are returning now. God waited until their truth was fully formed, not partial, not rehearsed, not defensive, fully formed. God also waited until your heart was healed enough to receive truth without craving outcome. You no longer need their return to validate you. That is crucial. Heaven also reveals something deeper. This return is connected to spiritual warfare. When God prepares to elevate you into a new season, unfinished soul ties must be resolved, not reattached, resolved. There was an energetic connection that needed clarity, not because it still controlled you, but because it once shaped you. God is closing a door in a way that leaves no residue. Unresolved questions create spiritual interference. God does not want you carrying unanswered doubts into your next chapter. Doubt weakens discernment. Confusion dilutes authority. Heaven is clearing the field. This return is not a distraction. It is a divine cleanup. There are truths that could not surface while emotions were raw, but now emotions have settled, healing has occurred, perspective has matured. This is when truth can be spoken cleanly. God allowed you to outgrow the pain before you understood the cause. That is mercy. The spiritual explanation also involves accountability. God does not allow people to wound His chosen ones without confronting them. Justice does not always look like punishment. Sometimes it looks like realization. They are now carrying the weight of understanding what they lost. God is not using them to confuse you. He is using them to affirm you. Another reason for this timing is your discernment. You now see clearly. You are no longer driven by emotion. You are guided by wisdom. You are no longer chasing love. You are walking in purpose. Your maturity has changed the dynamic. If they had returned earlier, you would have overextended yourself. You would have tried to fix things. You would have taken responsibility. But now, you listen without losing yourself. That is growth. God also reveals that this return aligns with your breakthrough. You are entering a new level, new opportunities, new clarity, new authority. Old attachments must be addressed before new assignments begin. This is not about them, it is about you. Their return is a final confirmation that you were never rejected, you were redirected, you were preserved, you were protected. God closed that door because it was no longer safe for you to stay inside it. Now the door opens briefly, not for re-entry, but for understanding. Another spiritual layer is exposure. Truth exposes lies you believed about yourself. You believed you were too intense, too emotional, too demanding, too complicated. The truth coming now will dismantle those lies. You were none of those things. You were simply aligned with someone who was not ready to grow. God is restoring your self-perception. This return also dismantles hidden enemies. There were voices that fed you false narratives, voices that blamed you, voices that questioned your worth. Truth silences those voices. Light dissolves darkness. Heaven wants you to notice how calm you feel thinking about this return. That calm is confirmation. If this were meant to destabilize you, you would feel anxiety. If this were meant to pull you backward, you would feel confusion. But instead, you feel steady. That steadiness is the Spirit. God is preparing you to listen with authority, not desperation, not longing, authority. You are not meeting them from the place of loss. You are meeting them from the place of wholeness. That changes everything. This return is also teaching you discernment. Not every return is an invitation. Some are closures, some are lessons, some are confirmations. You will know which this is by how it makes you feel afterward. Truth brings peace. Manipulation brings confusion. God is also reminding you of your worth. Someone who once walked away now returns with truth. That is not coincidence, that is acknowledgement. They now see what you carried. They now understand what you offered. They now recognize what they mishandled. This recognition does not require you to go back. It requires you to stand tall. Chosen one, heaven is aligning everything. Your past is being clarified so your future can unfold without interference. This moment will pass quickly, the truth will be spoken, the weight will lift, and you will step forward lighter than before. God is not reopening the wound, He is sealing it completely. This is divine timing. And there is still more to be revealed. Chosen one, heaven now reveals the signs that confirm this return is not imagined, not emotional, and not accidental. God always leaves markers. He always prepares the heart before revealing the truth. And if you are listening closely, you will recognize these confirmations already surrounding you. The first sign is the sudden reappearance of their name in your thoughts without effort. You were not dwelling on them, you were not searching for them, yet their name surfaced gently, without pain, without longing. This was not memory, this was prompting. God allows certain names to rise when a chapter is ready to close properly. The second sign is the emotional neutrality you now feel. In the past, even the thought of them stirred strong emotion. Now it does not. You remember without breaking, you reflect without aching. This emotional stability is confirmation that healing has occurred. God never brings truth back into an unhealed heart. The third sign is the clarity you have gained about yourself. You know your worth now, you recognize your boundaries, you understand your needs. This self-awareness did not exist before. It is the foundation that allows truth to land without destroying peace. The fourth sign is the way God has been quieting your spirit. You have felt led into stillness, less noise, less explanation, less urgency. This quiet is not emptiness, it is preparation. God prepares hearts for revelation in silence. The fifth sign is the shift in your dreams. Your dreams may have changed tone. They may feel calmer, more symbolic, less chaotic. When truth is approaching, dreams become messengers rather than warnings. They speak in clarity rather than confusion. The sixth sign is the sense of expectancy without anxiety. You are not waiting desperately. You are simply aware that something is unfolding. This calm expectancy is spiritual alignment. Fear does not accompany divine orchestration. The seventh sign is the internal prompting to forgive without reopening wounds. You have felt forgiveness rise naturally, not forced, not rushed. This forgiveness is not permission, it is freedom. God releases forgiveness before truth, so bitterness does not interfere with clarity. The eighth sign is the closing of other distractions, old connections fading, old patterns dissolving, old attachments losing their grip. God clears the environment before revealing truth. He removes interference. The ninth sign is the strengthening of your discernment. You sense intentions quickly. You read energy accurately. You detect sincerity without words. This discernment is essential for this moment. The 10th sign is the peace that remains when you imagine hearing the truth. Peace is the ultimate confirmation. God does not bring truth wrapped in chaos. Chosen one, these signs did not appear by chance. They are the fingerprints of divine timing. God prepares both the speaker and the listener. This moment required preparation on both sides. Heaven is also revealing biblical parallels to help you understand the weight of this return. In Scripture, truth often returned through unexpected messengers. Joseph's brothers returned with truth after years of silence. Jacob and Esau met again after separation, not to resume rivalry, but to restore understanding. The prodigal son returned with confession, not entitlement. These returns were not about restoring the past. They were about correcting the narrative. God uses returns to bring closure with dignity. Another confirmation is the way your spirit resists rushing ahead. You feel no urgency to decide anything, no pressure to respond emotionally. This restraint is wisdom. It shows you are being led, not driven. The person returning carries truth, not control. That distinction matters. Truth does not demand outcome, it simply speaks. Heaven also confirms this moment by strengthening your sense of identity. You no longer define yourself by how things ended. You define yourself by who you have become. This stability allows you to receive truth without losing ground. Another sign is the lack of fear. Fear signals danger, peace signals alignment. Your calm confirms that God is involved. God is also reminding you of your resilience. You survived the separation, you rebuilt your life, you reclaimed your peace, you discovered your strength. Nothing about this return threatens what you have built. That is confirmation. The truth coming will not undo your progress, it will validate it. Heaven reveals another sign. You have been feeling led to reflect rather than react. This posture allows wisdom to guide your response. Reflection is the language of maturity. The person returning has been reflecting as well. This alignment of reflection is intentional. God has synchronized your seasons. This moment also exposes the difference between love and attachment. You now understand that love does not require self-abandonment. This understanding allows you to hear truth without romanticizing the past. Chosen one, heaven wants you to recognize these confirmations so doubt does not creep in. Doubt distorts perception. Clarity protects discernment. This return is not meant to test you. It is meant to affirm you. You are not being asked to reopen doors. You are being invited to receive understanding. The truth coming will not surprise God. It will not shake heaven. It will not confuse your spirit. It will simply align what was once fractured. God is also confirming that this moment will be brief. Truth does not linger unnecessarily. It speaks and releases. This is not a season, it is a moment. The outcome is not emotional attachment, it is emotional release. The confirmation continues in your strength. You are not afraid to hear the truth. You are ready. This readiness is evidence of growth. Chosen one, heaven does not orchestrate returns lightly. Every return serves purpose. This one serves closure, healing, and clarity. Your life is moving forward. This moment ensures you move forward unburdened. The signs are clear. The alignment is real. The truth is coming. And God is with you in it. Chosen one, now heaven turns its focus toward your strength, not the strength you show others, but the strength God has built inside you quietly, the strength that endured confusion without explanation, the strength that healed without apology, the strength that learned to stand alone without becoming bitter. You are not the same person who was left behind. You are not the same heart that once waited for answers. You are not the same spirit that carried unanswered questions into sleepless nights. God has reshaped you. He has refined you. He has grounded you. This is why you can receive truth now. Heaven wants you to understand something clearly. You do not need the truth to validate your worth. Your worth was already established by God. The truth is coming to affirm what you already know in your spirit. You were sincere. You were genuine. You were faithful. You were not too much. You were simply aligned with someone who was not ready. That realization should empower you, not weaken you. When the truth is spoken, you may feel a quiet release, a sense of confirmation, a feeling of clarity settling in your chest. That is not sadness, that is freedom, that is the weight lifting, that is God closing a chapter gently rather than abruptly. You are allowed to listen without responding immediately. You are allowed to take time to process. You are allowed to hold silence. Silence is not avoidance. Silence is wisdom. God is reminding you that you are not responsible for their healing. You are not obligated to fix their regret. You are not required to soften their realization. You are simply a witness to the truth. Your role is to stand in dignity. Heaven also empowers you with this truth. You have learned discernment through pain. Discernment did not come easily. It was earned through disappointment, through betrayal, through confusion, through waiting. That discernment now protects you. You will recognize sincerity. You will recognize manipulation. You will recognize regret. You will recognize honesty. You will recognize whether the truth spoken carries humility or hidden expectation. This discernment is your shield. God wants you to walk into this moment with confidence, not emotional confidence, spiritual confidence, confidence that you are guided, confidence that you are protected, confidence that your peace cannot be taken. You are not entering a fragile moment, you are entering a clarified one. Heaven also empowers you to release expectations. This is not a moment to imagine outcomes. This is not a moment to plan responses. This is not a moment to revisit old dreams. This is a moment to receive information. Truth does not require imagination. God is teaching you how to love without attachment, how to listen without losing yourself, how to empathize without sacrificing boundaries. These are skills of spiritual maturity. Another empowerment heaven gives you is emotional sovereignty. Your emotions belong to you. They do not belong to the person returning. They do not belong to the past. They do not belong to regret. You are allowed to feel without being consumed. You are allowed to care without compromising. You are allowed to forgive without returning. God is strengthening your emotional posture so that nothing pulls you backward. You are also being empowered to recognize the difference between closure and continuation. Closure feels peaceful, continuation feels uncertain. Closure brings relief, continuation brings anxiety. Closure feels complete, continuation feels unfinished. Pay attention to how your spirit responds. God empowers you with self-trust. You doubted yourself before, you questioned your instincts, you ignored red flags, but now you trust your inner voice. You trust the guidance of the Spirit. You trust your discernment. That trust is essential. Another empowerment is the restoration of your narrative. You are no longer defined by how things ended. You are defined by how you grew. You are defined by the resilience you developed. You are defined by the wisdom you gained. The truth spoken will not rewrite your past. It will correct your understanding of it. Heaven also empowers you to walk away if needed, not out of bitterness, not out of fear, but out of alignment. Walking away does not mean rejection, it means honoring your growth. You are not obligated to revisit what God already healed. God is also strengthening your compassion. Compassion does not mean agreement. Compassion does not mean return. Compassion simply acknowledges humanity without surrendering boundaries. You can hear their truth and still choose your path. That choice is strength. Heaven empowers you with patience. You do not need to respond immediately. You do not need to offer reassurance. You do not need to soften the moment. Let truth speak fully. Let silence do its work. God often speaks in the pause after truth is revealed. Another empowerment is clarity. You will not be confused. You will not be overwhelmed. You will not feel pressured. Clarity will guide your response. This clarity comes from healing. Heaven also empowers you to release any lingering self-blame. The truth coming will confirm what God already showed you. You were not the reason it ended. You were the reason it mattered. This realization may bring tears, not tears of grief, tears of relief. God empowers you to move forward without carrying unanswered questions. Closure clears mental space. It restores focus. It strengthens confidence. Your future benefits from this moment. You are also empowered to protect your peace after the conversation. Do not replay it endlessly. Do not analyze every word. Do not reopen emotional loops. Receive the truth. Acknowledge it. Release it. Peace is your priority. God is preparing you for what comes next. New connections, new purpose, new alignment. This truth clears the final residue so you can step forward fully. Chosen one, heaven wants you to know that you are not losing anything in this moment. You are gaining understanding. You are gaining confirmation. You are gaining closure. Your heart is safe. Your future is secure. Your identity is established. You are empowered. And God is with you. Chosen one, now heaven speaks a warning, not to alarm you, not to frighten you, but to steady your footing as truth approaches. Discernment must lead this moment. Emotion cannot be allowed to take the throne. The first warning is this: not every truth spoken is an invitation. Some truths are confessions meant to free the speaker, not reclaim the listener. You must listen without assuming obligation. You are not responsible for what they choose to do with the truth once it is released. Truth can be sincere without requiring response. The second warning: do not confuse vulnerability with readiness. A person can speak honestly and still be unprepared for change. Tears do not always signal transformation. Regret does not always signal growth. Discernment will reveal whether truth is followed by responsibility. Watch actions, not words. The third warning: be careful of emotional nostalgia. The enemy often disguises distraction as memory. He will remind you of laughter, of closeness, of moments that felt safe. But nostalgia only shows fragments, never the full picture. It edits out pain, it silences confusion, it rewrites reality. Do not allow memory to override wisdom. The fourth warning: protect your boundaries even when truth sounds sincere. Boundaries are not walls of fear, they are markers of maturity. You did not build them by accident, you built them through pain. Do not dismantle them in a moment of emotion. Boundaries preserve your future. The fifth warning: do not rush forgiveness into reconciliation. Forgiveness releases the past. Reconciliation requires trust rebuilt over time. They are not the same. Heaven honors forgiveness. Heaven requires wisdom in reconciliation. Forgiveness is free, access is earned. The sixth warning, be mindful of spiritual manipulation. Some people speak truth but subtly seek control. They may use phrases that shift responsibility. They may frame regret in ways that invite reassurance. They may seek comfort rather than accountability. Discernment will catch what emotion misses. The seventh warning, do not minimize what you endured. Truth does not erase impact. Understanding does not undo harm. You are allowed to acknowledge pain without accusation. You are allowed to honor your healing without guilt. Your pain mattered. The eighth warning, expect internal conflict. Even healed hearts feel tension when old chapters resurface. Feeling emotion does not mean you are regressing. It means you are human. Do not judge yourself for what you feel. Simply do not let feeling decide for you. Wisdom listens while emotion passes. The ninth warning, be cautious of promises. Words about change must be proven through time. Promises spoken in emotion can fade when comfort returns. Do not anchor hope to intention, anchor it to consistency. Consistency reveals truth. The 10th warning, remember who you are now. You are not the same person who loved without discernment. You are not the same heart that accepted confusion as connection. You are not the same spirit that carried responsibility that was never yours. Do not shrink to make truth comfortable for them. The 11th warning, guard your spiritual peace. Peace is a sign of alignment. If conversation disturbs your peace, pause. If interaction drains your spirit, step back. Peace is a compass. God does not guide through chaos. The 12th warning, be aware of hidden resistance. The enemy does not always attack directly. Sometimes he uses emotional openings to delay destiny. If this return distracts you from growth, prayer, focus, or calling, reassess its place. Anything that pulls you backward must be questioned. The 13th warning, do not feel guilty for outgrowing someone. Growth is not betrayal. Healing is not abandonment. Elevation is not arrogance. God separated you for a reason. You are allowed to evolve. The 14th warning, some truths are spoken to close doors, not reopen them. Closure can feel anticlimactic. It does not always bring dramatic emotion. Sometimes it brings quiet understanding. Accept that. Closure is peaceful. The 15th warning, do not share this moment with others immediately. Protect the sanctity of what God is doing. Too many voices dilute clarity. Sit with the truth before inviting opinions. Wisdom values silence. The 16th warning, expect spiritual opposition after truth is revealed. Doubt may whisper. Confusion may try to return. Stand firm. Truth once revealed cannot be undone. Light cannot be unseen. The 17th warning, be gentle with yourself afterward. Processing truth takes time. Do not rush healing. Do not rush decisions. Let understanding settle. Healing continues in layers. The 18th warning, do not assume this return defines your future. It defines understanding. Your future is shaped by God, not by past connections. Destiny moves forward. The 19th warning, if their truth includes blame disguised as honesty, step back. Truth does not accuse, it acknowledges. Truth owns responsibility. Watch how they speak about themselves. The 20th warning, remember that discernment is a gift. Use it without apology, trust it without doubt. God sharpened it for this moment. Chosen one, heaven does not warn you to restrict you. Heaven warns you to protect you. This moment carries significance, not because of who returns, but because of who you have become. You are no longer led by longings. You are led by wisdom. You are no longer driven by fear. You are anchored in peace. If truth arrives gently, receive it. If truth arrives heavily, pause. If truth arrives with pressure, resist. God's truth never rushes you. The warning is not about danger, it is about discernment. You are stepping into a season where clarity must guide every decision. This moment is one of many that require wisdom. You are capable. You are prepared. You are protected. And heaven is watching over you. Chosen one, now heaven speaks with final clarity about what this return truly represents. This moment is not about the past reclaiming you. It is about destiny confirming your growth. It is about God closing one chapter with truth so the next chapter opens without resistance. This return marks a spiritual milestone. There are moments in life when God allows a person to reappear, not to stay, but to testify that your love was real, to testify that your intentions were pure, to testify that your heart was not foolish, to testify that your departure from that situation was necessary. This is one of those moments. The truth you are about to hear is not meant to stir emotion. It is meant to solidify understanding. It is meant to settle questions that lingered quietly. It is meant to restore peace in places where uncertainty once lived. God is confirming that you did not lose something valuable. You outgrew something incomplete. The destiny connection here is profound. Before you step into the next season of purpose, God ensures that old emotional narratives are resolved. Destiny cannot be fully embraced while fragments of confusion remain. This return clears the fragments. You are being released from emotional debt. The person returning is not stepping into your future. They are stepping into your past to acknowledge what they mishandled. That acknowledgement removes weight from your spirit. It restores emotional authority to you. This is not about validation. It is about liberation. Heaven reveals that your destiny requires clarity of heart. You are entering a season where you will lead, influence, build, and impact. Emotional residue from the past would interfere with that assignment. God removes interference before expansion. You are being prepared for increase. This moment also confirms your discernment. You sensed there was more to the story. You felt that something was unresolved. You carried an intuitive knowing that the ending was incomplete. That intuition was accurate. God honors discernment. The return validates your spiritual sensitivity. It proves you were not imagining things. It proves your perception was aligned with truth. It proves your spirit was reading the situation correctly even when information was missing. This confirmation strengthens your confidence moving forward. God is also showing you that love does not fail when it ends. Sometimes love completes its purpose by revealing truth. Not every love story is meant to last. Some are meant to teach, some are meant to refine, some are meant to awaken. Yours awakened you. The person returning is now aware of what you represented in their life. They understand the depth they could not meet. They recognize the stability they avoided. They acknowledge the love they mishandled. That realization is not your responsibility. Your responsibility is to receive clarity and continue forward. This return also breaks a pattern. In the past, you may have been left with unanswered questions. Silence may have followed endings. Confusion may have lingered. But this time, God allowed understanding. This is growth. Destiny often requires us to close doors differently than they were opened. Not in pain, not in confusion, but in truth. God is restoring your narrative so you do not carry false conclusions into future relationships. You will not enter your next connection doubting your worth. You will not fear abandonment the same way. You will not shrink to keep someone comfortable. This return empowers your future. Heaven also reveals that this moment marks the end of a soul tie, not through force, not through bitterness, but through truth. Soul ties dissolve when truth replaces illusion. You are being freed at the root. There is symbolism here. In Scripture, truth often preceded elevation. Joseph was cleared before promotion. David was vindicated before kingship. Ruth was recognized before restoration. Truth comes before destiny. God is positioning you for something new, new alignment, new connection, new purpose. This return ensures you step into it without carrying unresolved emotion. You are not meant to relive the past. You are meant to rise beyond it. Heaven wants you to notice how grounded you feel now, how calm, how steady. That is the sign that this return has no power over you. You are not destabilized, you are anchored. Anchored hearts do not drift backward. God is also reminding you that discernment will guide your response. You are not obligated to offer reassurance. You are not required to provide closure for them. Closure is happening through truth itself. You do not need to rescue anyone. Another prophetic truth is this. This return marks the completion of a lesson. Lessons that complete do not repeat. You will not attract the same dynamic again. You have evolved. Your next season will reflect your growth. God is also showing you that your capacity for love has matured. You now love with wisdom. You now care with boundaries. You now connect with discernment. This maturity is required for where you are going. Chosen one, this moment is not dramatic in heaven. It is orderly, it is intentional, it is precise. God is aligning things quietly, carefully, and purposefully. The truth spoken will not change your direction, it will confirm it. You are walking forward, not backward. The return is not a turning point, it is a confirmation point. You are no longer defined by who left, you are defined by who you became. Heaven declares that your future relationships will be built on mutual clarity, mutual readiness, mutual growth. You will not carry old wounds into new connections. This return ensures that the person who comes back with truth is a messenger, not a destination. Once the message is delivered, the assignment is complete. Destiny awaits you beyond this moment. Chosen one, heaven speaks peace over your heart, peace over your mind, peace over your spirit, peace over your memories. You are safe. You are guided. You are released. And you are ready for what comes next. Chosen one, now heaven brings this message to rest, not with urgency, not with pressure, but with peace. Everything that needed to be revealed has been revealed. Everything that needed to surface has come into the light, and now your spirit is free to breathe again. This moment was never meant to pull you backward. It was meant to untie what lingered quietly. God does not leave loose ends in the lives of His chosen ones. He closes chapters with precision, with mercy, and with truth. The person returning with truth does not hold power over your future. The truth itself was the final key. Once spoken, it unlocks understanding and releases you forward. You are not losing anything in this moment, you are gaining peace. Heaven wants you to hear this clearly. You did nothing wrong by loving sincerely. You did nothing wrong by hoping. You did nothing wrong by believing in potential. Love is never a mistake when it is genuine. The mistake was not yours, the limitation was never you. This truth settles your heart. God also wants you to release any lingering fear that this moment will disrupt your healing. It will not. Healing is not undone by understanding. Healing is strengthened by it. You are no longer vulnerable to the past. You are anchored in the present. Anchored hearts move forward with confidence. As this chapter closes, heaven places a quiet blessing over your emotions. May your thoughts remain clear. May your memories lose their sting. May your heart feel lighter than it has in years. May peace replace questions. May clarity replace doubt. You are allowed to let go fully now. God also blesses your discernment. May it remain sharp without becoming hardened. May it guide without isolating you. May it protect without closing your heart. Discernment is not fear. It is wisdom wrapped in love. You will recognize alignment when it comes. Heaven blesses your future connections. May the people who enter your life meet you where you are, not where you were. May they honor your boundaries. May they respect your growth. May they walk beside you, not behind you, not ahead of you, but with you. Your next season will feel different. God blesses your courage. Courage to listen without collapsing. Courage to hear truth without surrendering yourself. Courage to stand still when old emotions try to stir. Courage to walk away when alignment is missing. You have learned courage through experience. Heaven blesses your heart with rest. Rest from replaying the past. Rest from wondering what if. Rest from carrying responsibility that was never yours. Rest from emotional vigilance. Rest is part of your inheritance. God blesses your spirit with stability. You will not be shaken by this truth. You will not be destabilized by memories. You will not be drawn back into confusion. You will remain steady. Steady hearts discern clearly. Heaven blesses your mind with peace. May anxious thoughts lose their voice. May overanalysis fade. May clarity remain. May wisdom lead your decisions. Peace guards your thoughts. God blesses your path ahead. The road before you is open. The season you are entering is lighter. The connections ahead are healthier. The purpose unfolding is aligned. This return did not delay your destiny. It cleared the way for it. Heaven also speaks protection over your emotions after the truth is spoken. May you not absorb guilt that is not yours. May you not carry regret that does not belong to you. May you not shoulder responsibility that God has already removed. You are not responsible for another person's readiness. God blesses your capacity to forgive without forgetting your worth. Forgiveness is not forgetting. Forgiveness is choosing peace, and peace now belongs to you. Heaven blesses your future with clarity in love. You will recognize safe love. You will recognize mature love. You will recognize reciprocal love. You will not confuse intensity with intimacy again. Wisdom has grown inside you. As this message ends, heaven seals this chapter gently. No drama, no confusion, no lingering attachment, just understanding, just peace, just release. You are stepping into a season where your past no longer whispers, where your heart no longer wonders, where your spirit no longer waits for answers. You have them now. Chosen one, may your nights be calm, may your days be focused, may your heart feel settled, may your future feel open. You are not behind, you are not late, you are right on time. God has guided every step, even the painful ones, even the confusing ones, even the silent ones. Nothing was wasted. This moment was necessary. Now walk forward. Walk lighter. Walk wiser. Walk free. This chapter is complete. And what comes next will meet you in peace. Chosen one, if this message spoke directly to your spirit, take a moment to like this video so it reaches others who need this confirmation. Subscribe if you want to stay connected to messages God is releasing in this season. And comment, I receive, if this word aligns with what you have been sensing. Remain attentive, heaven is still speaking.